Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Russell Does Stuff. My name is Russell, and you are here watching my YouTube channel called Russell Does Stuff. I'm a retired entrepreneur. I work 6 hours on Monday, 6 hours on Tuesday. If I don't get finished up, I'll take care of sometime during the week. I was doing the extra work and stuff on Wednesday mornings, but I decided with all the heat and stuff uh, to do it sometime on Thursday, maybe Friday morning or whatever, to kind of get a break in between those 2 days. I want to share a story with everybody. When you own a business, you're constantly on the lookout for tax write-offs and stuff. And when my work trucks get to be at a certain mileage, right before they go off the cliff as far as their resale value is concerned, I'll shop them. I'll call the dealerships up and I'll let them know what I have, what I'm looking for, and see if I can put some sort of a deal together to where the scales tip in my favor. When I do this, it's probably every 5 years or so where I'll go look for say a new work truck or a new office truck or a new estimating truck. I wait until December to do this. So last year, starting December 1st all the way up to January and maybe a week into January, I was looking at buying a brand new truck. I was going to trade this truck in here. It had 54,000 miles on it. It doesn't have the TurboMax 4-cylinder engine in it. It's the last 6-cylinder engine that they put in these 1500 Silverados, per what I've been told in my research. I called up every dealership in my area. I was looking for a V8 4-wheel drive Chevy truck. First of all, that's a very, very hard truck to find. Not all the dealerships have any of them. There's a couple dealerships down in the Punta Gorda area. I think they had one or two. They were fully loaded, very, very, very expensive trucks. So I reached out to all the dealerships in the state of Florida. I traveled to these dealerships in Florida. Told them what I was looking for. Told them what I needed in a truck. Told them, I have advertisements from your company on the internet, and they looked up the stock numbers and stuff. Sometimes they had that truck, and most of the times they didn't. It's bait. So it made it difficult trying to purchase a truck. Why was it so difficult trying to purchase a truck? They want all their money out of that truck. I don't understand what their thinking is and why they're thinking this way still. Truck sales are down, car sales are down and stuff. And I'm interested in buying a truck because it's a tax write-off. Okay. They were not interested in talking numbers with me. 99.9% of those dealerships did not want to talk numbers with me. Only one dealership wanted to talk numbers with me. I told the salesman, I got to the lot, I got out, I walked around, a salesman approached me. I told him I wanted to see a V8 4-wheel drive Chevy truck. You got any? And he had two. This was the dealership that had two. I said, I'm interested. What's your out the door price on this truck? He looked at me like I had Lost my mind. Well, we need some information from you first. I said, you don't need any information from me. I want to know what the out the door price on that truck would be. Well, I don't know. I don't know. And then he grabbed a piece of paper on this clipboard he had and he wrote, well, if you'll take this truck for $50-some thousand, would you be interested in buying it? I said, no, I'm not signing that. He goes, well, I can't get you the out the door price on this truck unless I get a commitment from you. It was like they were going out of their way not to try to figure out a way not to sell a truck to me. I knew what I wanted to spend. I knew what they were worth. I did my homework on it. And I have never, ever experienced anything like it in my life. Like this truck here. I picked the phone up and I told the sales lady what I wanted. And she went and looked for it. Told me what it costs out the door. I didn't even go there to test drive it or any of that stuff, what you're supposed to. I said, all right, get the paperwork ready. I'm not going to do a lot of, I don't want dent protection. I don't want any of that, any upsells, any upgrades, any of that stuff. That's the price you're quoting me, and that's the price I'm going to pay. Went down there, gave him my money, signed my name. The finance guy, the guy in the FY&I finance department, knew that I was only in there just to sign my name and get out of there. I wasn't going to buy any of those extended warranties or any of that stuff. So that was the last easy truck deal I have ever had, and it's probably going to be the last. I called dealerships and visited dealerships in North Carolina, in Georgia, in Florida. They would not give me the out-the-door price on the vehicle. They wanted my information. They wanted to know if I was in the military. They wanted to know if I was a fireman. They wanted to know all this stuff. They wanted to know if I was an employee of the company. They had to get information out of me in order to give me the out-the-door price. And I told them, I'm not, I was never in the military. I was never a fireman. I'm not a police officer. It didn't matter. And if I wasn't all those things, they added all the discounts back to the truck. Okay. And I think there was like 6 or 7 discounts on some of these trucks. They advertised the truck for, say, $40,000. And then when you get there or you talk to them over the phone, well, once they found out, you weren't an iron worker, they'll add that money back onto the truck, and now the truck's $50,000. So it's a bait and switch type deal. I gave out my emails and my phone number to some of these dealerships. If the salesman was really cool and nice, I gave him my information and I allowed him to call me. I finally got like the last phone call I think I'm going to get from a dealership on the other side of Florida who is still trying to sell me a truck that they don't want to sell me. I have spoken to the sales managers. I have spoken to another big wig at a Chevy dealership down south who said, he'll get me an out-the-door price. There's no games. There's no nothing. Still could not get an out-the-door price on a truck. They want you to come down there for 15 minutes, give them your driver's license, give them some information, etc. I was in the middle of Florida looking at Fords. He would not give me a price on the truck until I gave him my information. He was trying to pre-qualify me. I said, it don't matter how I'm paying this truck off. I want to know the out-the-door price. I got my own financing. I might write a check for it. I might pay half of it off. That's none of their business. So it was like pulling teeth to get an out-the-door price on a truck. For the last 20 years or so, that's how I would do business. I would call up the dealership and tell them I need a box truck, I need dually, I need this, I need that, I want vinyl, it's got to be a stripper. I like vinyl seats, vinyl floors. If it's got a radio, I don't care. Air conditioning's a plus. Power windows or not, I don't care. That's how it was done. Out the door price. Could not get one. So I decided that I'm not going to go that route anymore. If I purchase another vehicle, it's going to be off the general public. And I am looking for a diesel now. And I'm not going to buy it from a dealership. I'm going to buy it off of somebody who's advertising on the internet. The general public. No more dealerships. No more sales guys. It's over with. It's done. I will never buy another truck from a dealership ever again because of the way things have changed and the way things are now. And I don't understand how the salesmen are making any money. You know, farmer calls up and says, hey, how much is the tractor? They get the price for what the tractor's out the door price is. Goes down there, hands the guy the money, he takes delivery of the tractor. They're putting up so many barriers between the customer and the sale of vehicles and trucks now. I'm not complaining or nothing. That's just the way that they want to do business. And all dealerships are doing business like that now. The big dealerships. And I'm not going to mention any of their names. And I'm sure some of you guys have experienced something like this, where they will not give you an out-the-door price on a vehicle unless you actually physically go there and give them information. Bot calls, bot communications, bot chats, all that stuff. That stuff's ramped up really high, so you don't even know if you're talking to a real person or not anymore. The days of purchasing a vehicle the way we used to purchase them a long time ago, I think is over with. So I'm going to keep this. I may sell it to a friend of mine. I may not. But like I said, I'm done buying vehicles from dealerships. Well, tell me what you guys think. You know, what experiences are you having when you're trying to upgrade the equipment for your businesses and stuff? Are you running into the same things I'm running into now? And I wouldn't have made a video about this on this subject, but I got texted from a salesman that I talked to January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, about 9 months ago. Hey, just checking in on you, seeing how you're doing. You still looking for a vehicle? That person looking for a vehicle is going to buy a vehicle within the next 2 weeks of stepping foot on and having contact with a salesman. That's the facts on that stuff. You go to a dealership, you're going to buy a vehicle within 2 weeks from somebody. Okay. That's hard facts, and any sales manager is going to tell the new sales guy, hopefully that information. So you want to be nice to people. When they come to your dealership, they're there for a reason. And they're going to buy a vehicle within 2 weeks. And you need to be mindful of that if any salesmen are watching this video. And you lost the truck sale. Okay. You want to pay, you want an out the door price? Well, how are you paying for that? It's not your business, Mr. Salesman. Tell me what the vehicle costs. All right. And then I'll figure out how I want to pay you for it. Do I want to use, in-house financing? Do I want to use my credit union? Do I want to use my checkbook? Do I want to use my savings? So that's what's going on out there. And I must have had an interaction with 20 dealerships trying to buy something like that. See, I want to move to the mountains, and I'm looking for a V8 or a diesel. I want four-wheel drive because where Russell's going, the roads do like this. That's two-wheel drive. That's for flat surfaces and stuff. This thing gets stuck in grass. So, well, this is Russell with Russell Does Stuff, and I'm sharing my experiences with dealing with dealerships right now. You see that advertisement for $44,000. That ain't the price, because they're going to add back in all these rebates that you probably don't qualify for. Talk to you later. Catch you on the next one.